Hi, we will start our lectures on permutation combination, a topic which unnerves a lot of students, and the irony is entire permutation and combination is only about counting. How fast can you count the different possibilities that exist? So we have certain rules of counting. Now these rules, what do we mean by rules? For example, I'm just taking a trivial example. If I say there's a grid which has 4, 5, 6, 7 dots and there are 5 such rows. So if I ask you how many dots are there in all, would you be sitting and counting each of these dots? No, we know that our rule says, we know it's a rectangular grid. So we know there are 7 of the dots here and there are 5 rows. So the number of dots will be 7 5s are 35. So different rules are framed so that we don't have to count individual cases as such. What are those rules? There are two primary rules. The rule of OR and the rule of AND. Let's take each turn by turn. The rule of OR is nothing but delineating each and every possibility as such. So let me explain it to you. So if I have, let's say I go to an entertainment mall and there are 3 movies which are playing and there are 2 plays. Let's say I want to entertain myself and I want to go and watch a show at one particular time slot. So either I am going to watch a movie or going to watch a play. So the conjunction used is an or. I cannot watch both of them at the same time. So it simply goes as I could go and watch either movie 1 or movie 2 or movie 3. The emphasis is on the word or. Or I could watch play 1 or I could watch play 2. So these are nothing but 5 different ways. How do we get this 5 different ways? Movies I could watch in 3 different ways. Plays I could watch in 2 different ways. And since I am going to use an OR, it is nothing but we just add them, and so I could watch a show in 5 different ways. So this is your rule of OR. Right? How does it become different if there's an AND? So let's say, same situation, there are 2 movies and, there are 3 movies and there are 2 plays. However, this time I want to watch a movie as well as a play, that is and a play. Right? So now, obviously this means I'm going to watch 2 shows, right? One after the other or whichever way. So I'm going to watch 2 different shows. So in how many ways can now I watch or entertain myself? With movies, I still have the possibility of 3 movies. Movie 1, movie 2 or movie 3. Now the key word here is, having selected a movie, there are further how many ways in which I can watch the play. So with movie 1, I could watch either play 1 or play 2. With movie 2 also, I could, having watched movie 2, I could continue and watch a play 1 or a play 2. Having watched movie 3, I could watch a play 1 or play 2. So if this time I count the number of ways, this is the first way in which I could entertain myself, that is movie M1 and play 1, or a second way, third way, fourth way, fifth and 6th. So if I look at it, this time I have 6 different ways to entertain myself. Right? So let's see how this works out. How did we get this 6? With movies I have 3 choices. With plays I have 2 choices. But since there's an AND, now I would be multiplying the 2. The tree structure should have made it very clear. So this is also a fundamental rule of counting. So this becomes your 6 different ways to entertain myself. Hope this makes it clear in terms of an OR and an AND. We'll take one another example. A very classic example to understand this concept of or and. I am at a city A and I have to travel to city C. However, there is no direct route and the only route is through B. There are 3 different routes from A to B and there are 2 routes from B to C. In how many ways can I go from A to C? The number of different ways it is asking us. Needless to say, I'll have to pass through B. So let me first travel from A to B. And how many ways can I travel from A to B? Let's say I'll mark the roads as X, Y and Z. I have 3 choices. From B to C, I further have 2 choices. Let's say the roads are 1 and 2. Now what do I do with this 3 and 2? Do I have to add or do I have to multiply? You have to think, what is a conjunction between this? Is it going to be an or? Do I travel A to B or B to C? Or do I travel and? Since I have to reach from A to C, I cannot go to A to B and stop. I would have to do an and since it's an and, I would multiply it and I would be getting 3 2s are 6 ways. While this is a very, let's say, textbookish way of learning when to use an or and an and, however, what I would suggest is to identify the use of an and, please ask yourself a question or think whether the statement is valid. For each of previous ways, there are further n ways, let's say. For each of previous m ways, there are further n ways. This always would suggest that you would have to do m into n. Looking at the same sentence in a tree format, let's say I could travel either x, y or z by a road x, y or z. For each of these ways, whether I have taken x or y or z, further I have 2 choices. Either I could take road 1 or 2. Right? So this means whenever a tree is formed, this means I would have to multiply. That is 3 into 2 equal to 6 ways. Hope you get the idea. So where will I use an or? Let's see, in the same situation, let's see I have another new road has come up. There's a new town which says D. And there are 5 different routes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these are 5 different routes out over here. And from D to C, I have 2, 3 and let's say 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, in how many ways can I reach from A to C? So the first thoughts in my mind should be, I could either go from A to B or I could go from A to D. So if you notice, the conjunction used is I could either do this, one or the other. It is not having traveled from A to B, it's not further traveling from A to D. It is an either or situation, so the conjunction is or. Having traveled to B, do I stop? No. And then from B, I would have to go to C. So the conjunction there is an and. A to D and then from D to C further. Right? So how many ways? A to B I have 3 ways. B to C I have 2 ways. And since I have to do both the activities, there's an and, I would multiply it. Similarly, A to D there are 5. D to C there are 4 ways and I would be multiplying them. What do I do with the 6 and the 20? This is what I would be adding, because either I'll do the first branch or the second branch. So this sums up your cases of 5 to the 20 and 6, that is 26. Hope you get the idea. I'll just close this with the, we'll close it with this example. Because this is just examples to understand and or, we will have to emphasize more on the applications.